What's up, summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides Wild Rift video. My name is Nico, and today we got something new and exciting for you. 5 of the best bans for the current patch and why you should get rid of those champions. Ready? Then let's go. First on our list comes Lee Sin. He's notorious for being the king of coin flips in the jungle role and is just an unimaginably annoying champion to deal with. The fact that he can just clear up a camp and walk into a lane to gank is obnoxious. This becomes even worse when you realize that this champion is able to dash to thin air. Once he does so, he'll start to relentlessly pummel you until you topple over. In theory, Lee Sin needs to be ahead in order to be useful. However, due to the nature of solo queue, it's very likely that his coin flips are going to work in his favor. People just happen to not care about jungle presence or are simply not aware of the enemy's options. Another issue about facing a Lee Sin is the fact that the available counterplay comes in the form of just doing nothing. If you do nothing and don't give him kill, it's very likely for you that you're already slowly winning whereas he's losing. This will force him into doing more desperate plays, which you can anticipate and counter. However, whenever you face this champion, maybe because you forgot to ban him, make sure to give your jungler a sufficient amount of wards to work with. No one wants to face check Lee Sin in the early game, so don't force your teammates into doing so by providing them with incomplete vision. Lee Sin's signature move here would be a typical blue buff invade after doing red and raptors. To get the info he needs, he'll instantly rush towards your blue buff level 1 to place down a ward. To counter this, your support can wait a bit and use the Scryer's Bloom to spot and clear the ward. The other available play would consist of placing down your own wards to see Lee Sin early enough. Nonetheless, I cannot repeat this enough, solo queue is not a coordinated environment and you cannot rely on your teammates to do what you want them to do. Rather try to get everything done you can influence yourself. The other option, however, seems easier and more appealing. Just ban this creature. The next must ban on your list for solo queue is Katarina. Don't be deceived, gamers, even though she received a few nerfs, it's just not enough. Katarina, in the way she's played, will always be relevant in solo queue unless they really tackle her reset-oriented kit. For lane, she doesn't have to do anything until level 3. Just staying behind and soaking experience points and gold is enough. Once she's level 3, she can easily start making insane trades and get the enemy into a position in which she can get killed. Giving this champion a lot of jungle attention is also something that a lot of players don't really do. Think about this. Have you ever seen a Katarina with a lead that is not absolutely demolishing your team in the blink of an eye? Whenever I saw this champion piloted by a good player in challenger games, it's always insanely fed. Why, you might ask? Well, the answer is quite simple. A Katarina isn't necessarily bound to lane. She can also just leave it, and due to the nature of solo queue, she'll be rewarded for doing so. But what about those kind of drafts in which you're not able to ban her yourself? What kind of champion can you pick to get rid of her or deny her? For this, champions like Braum can come in really clutch as his shield literally blocks her ultimate daggers. Even better is the amount of pressure you apply by tagging an enemy with your passive. They now have to be very careful to not get stunned, because if they happen to do so, they'll die instantly. And such is the nature of Katarina. Kill everyone in an instant or suffer to see them live with low HP bars but unable to do anything to them. Generally, you want heavy crowd control champions into Katarina as it heavily limits her capacity of playing the game, but keep in mind, you'll always have to hold at least one of your CC abilities in order to counteract her plays. Otherwise, she can just wait for you to use all your juice, and once you've used all of your abilities, she might just jump in and get you all killed. So far so good, and now I think it's an optimal moment to take a quick break for our question of the day. Which 3 champions do you love seeing banned the most when it comes to your own team? Let us know in the comments down below. Another crazy good champion comes in the form of Camille. She can be flexed into multiple positions and is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to scaling and playmaking. The moment this champion hits level 5, she can always guarantee a free kill with the right assistance. Even better is her mobility, as she's able to engage fights from a mile away without leaving the enemy a lot of room to outplay. For those reasons, she's been perma-banned in competitive for quite some time, and for a good reason. However, the most scary part about her kit in solo queue is her mobility. If she has the ability to shove in lane, she can simply rotate to another lane and gank it from behind enemy lines. It looks really fair when it happens. I was just joking, it really is not. In addition to that, she can also go into split pushing as the game goes on, which really helps out in terms of applying pressure throughout the game. Other than that, she'll always be able to isolate and pin down at least one target in the very late stages of the game, which will give her team all the options they need to win a fight. Go and pick her up. She's not the easiest champion to play, but her potential is near limitless. Before we continue with today's video, make sure to check out our Discord in the description below. We are running a lot of different giveaways and events, and it would be really sad if you were to miss out on those. The next champion who you want to see banned is Fiora. This champion, without a doubt, is the most annoying champion in lane. She can permanently lunge towards you and chunk you down without any room for outplay. Even worse is the fact that her parry has only half the cooldown like its PC variant, so what are you supposed to really do against her? Any kind of trade can be fully negated by a proficient usage of her parry, and there's no way you can escape from this champion. However, there's one glaring weakness: her ability to straight up teamfight or dealing with tanks as the game goes on. In this version of the game, Fiora's vitals don't deal much true damage, which kind of forces her to go armor pen as the second item if she wants to deal with tanks. That way her tankiness is heavily reduced and she can be abused with proper setup. The biggest problem here though is this proper setup. You are still playing solo queue and you cannot coordinate your teammates to play towards your liking. Therefore, it will be very hard to shut down this champion. She's just too mobile. Also keep in mind, every Baron laner will love you if you ban this champion, because let's be honest here, I think no one in that lane wants to play versus a Fiora ever. They all have suffered enough unless they pick up the new graves to deal with her. Last but not least comes one of the most stable picks for mid lane, Corki. In the current meta, there isn't really anything that beats him. He's able to go even into every matchup and deals magnificently with popular picks like Lucian. So just from that perspective, if you want to play Lucian, please do yourself a favor and ban Corki. You won't be able to kill him unless he's griefing. Now, you have to take into consideration how well Corki scales as a champion and how he's able to deal damage. For example, Lucian has limited options that allow him to deal damage. The only real ranged option would be culling. Other than that, he'd be forced to go very close to the enemy. Corki, on the other hand, can keep on shooting out rockets that will poke out the enemy. I mean, have you ever seen the big rockets damage on level 13? You can be happy if you keep 50% of your HP as a squishy after being hit by just one. And with that, we are at the end of today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to never miss anything Wild Rift ever again. See ya!